Good morning, student. So this is a continued part of the structures, part 2. So before going this section, so I will suggest that you must watch the structure of part 1 before coming to this video. So let's continue with the structures. So let's do some more practical programs to understand more about the structure. So first program is write a program to accept 5 students' information and display the result pass or fail based upon their marks. So if you remember that in first section we have done a program to accept the user information and display it. Now what we need to do is we need to print a result. So if the marks is greater than 40, the result is pass, and if marks is less than 40, the result is fail. So I'm just revising that is first we will create a structure like this. Then I am creating a array of objects of 3 elements. Then I am using this to accept the information. Then this program is to display it. Now what we need to do is we need to print the result. So result will be based upon the marks. So how we will do that? If you remember that how we access the particular data member of the structure, we use it by object name index that data element. So now if student I index marks is greater than 40, then what will be the result? Student pass. Else what is the result? Enter. This program basically is to know how we use the particular data members. So that's all. That's very simple one. So let's try and run it. Let student first is let the roll number is 10, let the class is 12, let the marks is say 35. Student 2 is let's it's Sahib, then the roll number is 11, say class is 12, let's marks is 90. Third one is Rakesh, and the roll number is 13, class is 12, say marks is say 50. So let's see. So record of the student you have entered, his name is Sukhpal, roll number 10, class 12, student mark 35. So net result is fail. The record of student who have entered is, the name is Sahib, roll number 11, class 12, net, he is pass. The record of student enter is, his marks is 15 fail. So this is how we basically access the particular element of an array. I hope it's clear. So let's move to the next program. Next program is write a program to accept the information of 5 students. Okay, let it make it 5. Okay, and display the student who has scored first position, assuming there is only one. Okay, so in this program, what we need to do is we need to find a topper of 5 students. Okay, fine. So again, first we create a structure. We already have done that. Then what we need to do is 5 students. Let's make array of 5 objects. Then this will be changed to 5. Then this will remain same. We are accepting a name, roll number, student, class. Now what is the next step is? Next step is we need to find out the topper. So let's do that. If you remember that we have done the same program in array to find the largest number in an array. Similarly, we do this. So let's consider that int max marks is of the student having index 1, that is first. So we are assuming that. So hope you understand this syntax. Student 1 is the object name. 0 means first student, marks is marks. So let's say that its index is 0. So what I am assuming that student 1 is having a maximum marks, that is a topper, and index is 0. So next what I need to do is I need to iterate to all the loops to find out the maximum marks. So let's start the loop int I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Then what we need to do is we need to compare it. If max marks if the student, if this is greater than, has to be I, if this is greater than max marks. So what I need to do is we need to interchange. I hope it's clear. If the marks is greater than maximum marks, then what we do is we will store this marks into maximum marks. And we store the index also. Index will be I. So again, what I am doing is this loop will start. First, it will be 0. Index will be 0. We compare first marks with max marks. If it is greater than then, we will swap the marks into max mark and store the index. Now I need to display the result. So the student which have the maximum marks will be stored in the max marks, and his index will be stored in a index variable. So I need to display the result. So how I'll do that? We don't need a loop because I need to display only one record. Now here index will be used. Don't need this. Okay, let's review this program. So first we create a structure, then we create an object of 5 elements. We did that. Then we need to accept the values. We are doing this here. Then what I need to do is we need to find the maximum marks and the index. I mean, say, what do you mean? Index is student number. Index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So which index or which student has highest marks? So I am presuming that, let's start by presuming that student 1 has highest marks. So I start in the marks and then his index is 0. So then we will iterate through the loops. If student marks is greater than max marks, then we swap it and then say index into I. Then I need to display the only that record. That record is displayed using index. So I will store the index. I will display the value using index here. I hope it's clear to everyone. So let's run it and see the result. Let's say the error, unexpected error occurs. Okay, we are using this. Don't need this. Okay, student 1, roll number is 10, class is 12, marks say 15. Student 2, roll number say 11, class say 12, marks say 78. Student 3, roll number say 13, class say 12, and marks say 89. Student 4, roll number say 14, Okay. Enter the class at 12th and marks at 34. Another student is there, the 5, the roll number is say 15, class at 12, marks say 20. So marks, so name of the student is 3, roll number is 13, class 12, 89. This is the student which has topped the exam. Let's check it. What we enter is, first student marks we enter is 15. That's fine. Second student we enter is 78. Third student we enter is 89. And the fourth student we enter is 34. And fifth student was, yeah, so this is the correct. So this is a program how we calculate the this. So you can create another program to find the student which has the lowest number of marks. You can try out this program. So let's move to the next topic. Okay. So next topic is structure and functions. So like a inbuilt data types, we can also pass structure to the functions. So structures are passed to a function by two ways. One is passing individual element to a function. Second is passing entire structure to functions. So let's first discuss passing individual element to a function. So what will we do is we say function name, then data member, that's all. So let's do it practically. Let's create a program, same program. Let's make it 3 instead of 5. So let's do the program to calculate the result, but using functions. I will say int cal result. Now I need to pass the individual data element. I'm not passing the entire structure in this case. First example. In first example. So what we need to pass is we need to pass the marks. So marks of which type? Integer type. So I will take that this. This will be function prototype or function declaration. Okay, next step is we declare a structure which we already done. Then we need to accept the result of 3 students which we are doing it. We don't need this one. Let's remove it. Okay, let's first calculate the function. Int cal result int marks. So if marks is greater than 40, we will return 1. 1 basically means pass. So I will say return 1. If it is less than 40, I will return 0. So 1 basically means student is pass and 0 means student is fail. So let's call this function. Don't need this. Let's copy it here. We don't need this also. Okay. Okay. So we will iterate through all 0 to 3. We will first print the name, roll number, class and marks. And for the result, what we do is we will call a function. So what is the function name is? Call result. I will call result function. What I need to pass is marks. So marks will be in stored in this, I will pass the marks. So this function is returning me a value integer which decide whether student is pass or not. So I need to store it. I say result. So the value of this function 0 or 1 will be stored in which variable? Result. So what we'll do is we will compare the result with 1. If it is 1, then we will printf student is pass, else printf student is fail. This will end the loop. We don't need this. Let's review it again. So we have created a structure, then we are accepting a value as that there are number 3 students are there. Then what we are doing is while displaying it, I am printing name, roll number, student and marks. For result, what I am doing, I am calling a function calculate result, in which what I need to pass is marks. So marks will be passed as a object name index dot marks. Then when this function is called with marks, it will come here and that value is stored in marks. Then I will compare marks with 40. If it is greater than 40, we can say greater than equal to. If it greater, we will return 1 and we will return 0 if it is less than 40. When function call is returned here, I am storing the result of call result function into result variable. Then after that we will compare the result variable. If result is equal to 1, student is pass, else student is fail. So let's run that code. Is the function name is correct? Cal result we are getting an error here. Let's see why. So this is the problem. What is the problem is we are declaring a function within a function. So main should end here. Okay. Now let's run it. First roll number is 10, class is 12, marks is say 15. 2, then roll number is 11, class is 12, marks is 16. Then 3, roll number is say 15, marks is say 80. One student we have entered is mark. Okay. Okay, I have entered the classes. Okay. So first student is failed because marks of student is 15. Second student again failed because marks is 16. Third student has marks 80, so it's passed. So this is how we pass a data element that into a functions. Okay. So next is how to pass the entire structure to a function. Let's do the same program, and in now I will pass entire function structure to a function. First of all, what we need to do is we need to create this structure globally, because structure this will not be available in function. So we will declare the structure outside the main so that it is also available in function. Now I will again create a function cal result. I don't need to return anything. I will say void. Now I will pass what? I will need to pass entire structure. So instead of int, I will say structure. I hope this is clear, because we need to pass the entire structure. So just like a int, now our data type is student in. So similarly, I am creating a 3 students. Then I am calling it with 3 1 as this. Now how will we change it? We need to change it by this. Let the name of the structure is starter. So let me copy this value into the. Okay. So now function call is this. For I is equal to 0. Now what I need to do is I need to call this function. I need to call this function, and this function will. What I need to pass is I need to pass a structure. So what I do is, I hope this is clear. So how will it look? First index will be I, that will be 0, 0 element structure will be passed here, not name, structure. So this will consist whole structure like 0. Then next it will pass, and so now this will be received in this structure, and this value will be stored in student info. I will say input value. Okay, let me change name is input rack. So this structure will be stored in which? Input rack. Now we'll use the input rack instead of this. Input rack dot name, input rack dot roll number. I hope it's clear why I am using input rack dot this, because this structure is now stored in a input rack. Input rack dot marks. Now again what I need to do is I need to calculate the result. Same I will do. I don't need this. I will need this. If input dot marks is greater than 40 or greater than equal to 40, the student is passed, against fail. Do we need to return anything? No. So I will say void. Okay, I hope it's clear to everyone. Let's revisit it. First of all, we need to declare it as a global. Why? If we declare it in the main, then this function will be available only in this main. This function cannot use it. I hope you understand the concept of global and local. So that's why I have declared this structure as global. Then I am creating a function, and the function prototype is this one, where name of the function is call result. It's not returning anything, and it is taking input parameter 1 as struct info. So next step is I need to create an object. I am creating here object. I need to accept the values. I am accepting it. Then I'm calling a function. Call where this is the important one. I need to call it by index, and that index will be stored in input rec, and then we are storing input rec dot name, input rec dot roll number, input rec dot student class, marks. Then I need to calculate the result. Then what I will use input rec dot marks. Let's run it. So say first roll number say 10, class say 12, marks say 15. Enter name of say 2, roll number say 11. Okay, class is 12, and the marks say first we enter is now enter let's 67. 3, roll number is 13. Enter the class 12, and the marks say 89. So you can see that student is failed because marks is 15. Student marks is just student is pass, and student is. So this is how we pass entire structure to the function. I hope it's clear to everyone. Okay, so let's move to the next topic. Okay, the next topic is structure and pointers. Like other inbuilt data types, pointer can be used with structures. If you remember that for pointer say int, I am declaring int a is equal to 10. What I am doing is I am declaring a int whose value will be 10. Then I am doing int pointer p. Then I am storing the address of a in p. So it means that p is a pointer which store the address of a variable which is of integer type. So what will be the memory layout will be? Memory layout will be there will be a one variable a of integer type will be created in a memory. Let's suppose its address is 1110 and 10 and value 10 will be stored here. Now this address will be stored by the variable p. So another p variable will be stored. That p will have some address. Say it has 100 address and its value will be 1110. Why 1110? Because this p is pointing to a variable a, and variable a is address is 1110. I hope you remember pointers chapter. Okay, so just like a inbuilt, we can do also pointer with the structures. So let's discuss structure and pointers. So I am creating a one structure, student name, roll number, marks. So again, I am creating a one object of structure test. Then what I am doing is I am creating structure pointer p. This is very important. In the previous, what I did is I have did int pointer p. What does it mean is p is a pointer which will store a address of another variable of integer type. And here what this mean is p is a pointer which will store the address of a variable which is of structure type. So that's why we are doing is p ampersand text. You can see here that p is equal to ampersand text. So how will it be memory layout will be? There will be a one object of student which is test. His name is we have created name of 30 characters, that is 101 to 140. I am taking any address 110 140, then 140 roll number will be stored and 142 mark will be stored. Now this address, starting address of the structure, that is 110, will be stored in a pointer p. So p will have its own address, say it's 100, and it will store the what value? It will store the value of, that is address of the structure test, that is 110. I hope this is clear with this picture. So next, okay, so if you remember that earlier what we are doing is when we are creating an object, we are assessing the element using dot operator. But when we create an pointer, we need to use an arrow operator rather than a dot operator. So for example, like structure student test, student pointer p this. So I need to use p arrow roll number to access the elements of structure rather than p dot. So you need to remember that when you are creating a pointer to a structure, you need to use a arrow operator, not the dot. So let's do it. One program, same program to input the value. Let's do it simple one. So okay, here what I am doing is I don't need this. Let me delete this part. I don't need a function. Let me delete this function also. Let structure be a global one. We don't have any problem there. So here what I did is I have created a one object there. Now I need to create a pointer to the object. So what I next step is so let's accept the value from the user. I should not delete everything. So let me delete this. So I need that. Instead of writing everything, okay, okay. Now again, let's create an object of structure. We have created object. Now let's create a pointer to a structure. Structure name is struct info, and we say pointer p. So p will storing the address of student. So now we will use p to store the values. So here what I do is I will say p, and which operator I need to use is I need to use a arrow operator because I am accessing it using now pointers. Same way I need to use here is same way I need to use here is same way okay. So I'm inserting the values. So let's revisit it. P dot name, then P dot roll number, P dot not dot, sorry, arrow, P arrow roll number, P arrow student name, P arrow dot marks. Now let's display it. Again, we will display it using arrow operator. We don't need this. Okay, let's review this again program. So we have created as one structure. We don't need a function. Let's remove that one. So main struct info. So I'm creating a pointer to the structure. Then I'm storing the address student one. Now I will use P with arrow and I display this. So let's run it. Roll number say 12, class say again 12, marks say 13. So you can see that the name of the student is first, the roll number is 12, the class is 12, and the marks is 13. This is how we use structure and pointers. So one thing you need to remember is to access the data element, you need to use a arrow. So this is all about the structures. So I hope you understand it well. Thank you.